Happy Monday! Welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. It's actually Saturday for us in the late afternoon. We're all a little bit loopy because we've been at Comic-Con. I'm here with Danielle Radford.
Hi, I'm tired.
Hi, I'm tired. My name is also I'm Tired. Joe Starr.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Billy the Business.
This is my favorite SJU of the year.
Yeah, because you're on it and you got this quaffle.
I had a thing that I said 5 out of 10 people in the street would know what this was actually called.
Yeah.
So far, I'm 0 for 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Great. This has been a good show so far. And you're entertained. The Marvel panel is literally happening right now, so we have very little of interest to talk to you about. But
Sell it! Sell it, Roth! Sell the show!
No,
Stay with them.
I actually found the best part of Comic-Con that no one's talking about.
yeah, that's true. So
That's
Billy
true.
came back, he went on a walk, came back and he said, I saw the most amazing thing that anyone has ever seen at Comic-Con. This is true, I'm not lying to you this time. And we're gonna show it to you at the end of the show. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet. I have no context for this. But before that, we're gonna do some marketing roundups. HBO released a Watchmen trailer.
That needs like in post, like a marketing roundup.
Boop, boop, boop. I'm so tired, Joe.
You all right?
I'm so tired.
You're not alone on this hill, Roth.
Yeah, I am. I'm dying.
no, we're with
I'm
you.
dying slowly but surely. This is released in October 2019. This is a prequel or sequel. It's a sequel series to the original Watchmen story. It stars Regina King, Jeremy Irons, Tim Blake Nelson, and Lou Gossett Jr., which I, for one, find kind of amazing.
Yeah, I've got some Lou feelings. We'll get
I
into
have
them.
really strong Lou Gossett Jr. feelings. So I want to talk about our Lou feelings, but first of all, overall impressions of this trailer. It's Damon Lindelof is the one behind this. He obviously, everybody knows him for Lost, among other things, but also The Leftovers on HBO, which is where that relationship started. Really great series.
Yeah.
Depressing. On a scale of 1 to depressing to confusing, where does this land?
I feel really weird because I think this show looks fantastic. Like the look of it is really cool. Like on an intellectual level, I guess, I'm like, everything is firing correctly for me to understand that this looks great, but there's something that's just not clicking for me, like caring? I don't know, it's weird, because I'm like, all of this looks awesome. All of these actors are doing a great job. Everything looks very cool, but I don't know if I'm just like on Comic-Con overload, and I gave my love to his Dark Materials maybe,
You can
but
only
like,
have so much love.
yeah, but everything I'm like, I know that this will be good, but also in my heart I'm not like, this is gonna be good. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
It's just interesting because Watchmen is one of those properties that, like, when you look at what Watchmen or Alan Moore was really setting out to do with Watchmen, it was never meant to be sequelized, prequelized. The tie-ins with Batman, I'm sure he had to stop some pagan ritual to pull his hair out of his beard. Like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing? This is not what Watchmen is. That being said, this looks like it matches the aesthetic pretty well of that movie. I don't know. What are you laughing at?
Oh no,
Oh no! Oh no!
she's actually gone.
She blue screened.
Because the Joker is just a little bit.
They're best friends.
Is your friend? It looks ridiculous.
Did you just see it?
I did just see it. I don't want to be spoiled about the evolving narrative of Chewie and the Joker. So
I mean, it's there. That's the resolution. Why can't we be friends?
you were saying very I'm going to get in so much trouble from the person watching this.
It matches the aesthetic of Snyder's Watchmen movie, although I don't think... Again? Jesus Christ. What is happening? Don't look at the playback. Just look at
I just want to say that every time I host the show, everyone's like, Joe's hosting, it's gonna go off the rails.
Just look me in the face like a human being.
Billy Business 2019. Just look me in the face like a human being.
I'm with you.
Here, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Keep
You
talking.
can-
Keep
I'll
talking.
take it. I'll take it.
Danielle, the aesthetic, does it not look like the movie? Although I don't believe it's tied into the film.
Yeah,
I don't have a point.
No, you did.
I
and
don't.
I know your point, and I'm going to tell you your point back to you.
Yep.
It was the following point. The aesthetic matches, however, the intention of the artist is not correct in terms of what he was looking for to do. He was trying to subvert tropes and make a commentary on comic books and superhero stories.
It's much more satirical than like. I really like. I like Watchmen the movie. Thank you. I like Watchmen the movie. It's just I don't feel like it has anything to do with Watchmen the book, so I have no idea where this one's going to land. If it's going to split the difference, if it's going to be more like, you know, the traditional superhero type
Is it Dr.
show.
Manhattan or is it a giant octopus? Like, which one of those things?
Why can't we have both?
I never said we couldn't. But
Dr. Manhattan does show up at the end of the trailer. Well, here's one of the things that I did think was interesting in terms of commentary is that Dr. Manhattan is essentially going to pull a Walter White and cosplay as himself, it seems like, at the end of that, because he picks up the Dr. Manhattan mask, right? But is he doing like?
It just seems like there's like remember, look, I'm pulling all this from a 2-minute trailer, but like in Dark Knight where people would dress up as Batman as like a symbol, like people are dressing up as Dr. Manhattan as a symbol.
Well, definitely as Rorschach. Rorschach,
right,
that's a
Rorschach has
part
like
of
there's like armies of, I don't really know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this series, it's like, okay, we missed the point of what the book was saying, so maybe it's just like we're just based on characters created by Alan Moore, and now it's like we're just doing...
Yeah.
Or it's making its own commentary in the sense that, like, first of all, I think it's interesting that comic book fans, I think for a long time, and continue to say, I want a direct adaptation, I want to see what I know, but then they did in Watchmen, and it was like, well, no, I don't want that, do something different. And now
they didn't, though.
They didn't. But in this particular case, if you think about the idea of many Rorschachs, something's happening over there.
Yeah,
and I'm not getting distracted.
Yep.
Many Rorschachs, and then almost like a Dr. Manhattan wearing a Dr. Manhattan mask. I feel like maybe it's a commentary on fandom and the way that we identify with certain characters, but also dilute and pollute them a little bit. I got that from those 2 minutes, didn't you?
You know, I'm interested to see the arc of Regina King's character because she's great. Some of the cop stuff was wigging me out a little bit in the first trailer because I didn't understand what they were doing. I'm still kind of getting that there's this gang of Rorschachs and they're attacking the cops. So then the cops then decide that they're going to become like vigilantes, and then they start working outside the law, even though they are the law. So I think that that's what's happening.
Seems like that's what's happening. Well, it seems like they got attacked because they had so now they're wearing masks. Because
which feels very, my police union wants to put a Punisher logo in our film or something. Like, I don't know. It feels. I don't know what this one's gonna do. I mean, look, Alan Moore at this point, I think he's given up. He doesn't care about this stuff anymore. He's calling the corners. He's fine.
He retired.
Yeah.
He like officially is done.
But you know, I'm fascinated to see what this does because I don't think the movie aesthetically very pretty. I think Snyder missed the point of the books. I think the prequel comics were very pretty. Jay Lee's. Sorry, at Comic-Con I'm losing everything.
Ozzy?
Yeah, Jay Lee did Ozymandias, and it's a beautiful comic, but I think doing a before Watchmen also misses the point of Watchmen. And I thought dropping them into the DC proper for that event was interesting, but also still missing the point of what he wanted to say. So I don't know, man.
Is it Watchmen : I don't know, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt like watching the whole thing.
It's supposed to be, nothing is supposed to be, tales can be whatever you want them to be. But to Billy's point, it's a self-contained story about what happens when absolute power corrupts and what happens when, you know, iconography maybe trumps other things. And for me, you know, I'm a huge fan of Squadron Supreme, but when they kept going back to that Squadron Supreme, when they kept going back to that well, and Marvel, I was like, no, you missed the point. Like, you're not getting it.
Except that to me, this is a further exploration of iconography polluting, right? And then where the line is, right? Because if all these people are dressing up as these different people and they end up dressing up as themselves, the point is they have become what they are perceived to be.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting where Dr. Manhattan comes back, if he's been on Mars this whole time and he comes back to this world where, by the way, everyone thinks he's still responsible for death and destruction.
If that is what if it is directly off of the movie, because if it's off of the book, then it was a, you know,
big squid boy,
big squiddy guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Big squid.
You're right.
The interesting thing
but either way, he still F's off to Mars.
To Roth's point about iconography being distorted. The interesting thing meta to me is I feel like the movie wasn't supposed to be that, but I felt like the movie was already that.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. Nailed
Billy
it.
wrote me 2 bullet points for all of these things, and I'm going to read you Westworld's now. 1, releases at some point in 2022. Nazis! Exclamation point. So let's talk about Westworld and that trailer, which was. Do we feel complete on Dr. Manhattan?
We can keep going if you want, but
No, I do think it's interesting because Damon Lindelof, I think of anyone, understands kind of like fan culture and the reaction to like how we attach or don't attach to characters and to comics and to these created worlds. And so if this is a riff on it, I mean, I think the idea of what's the difference between a vigilante and a cop, blah, 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 has been explored a lot. So I don't think that's going to be the end of it, you know? And I do like the idea that Dr. Manhattan is essentially playing himself by the end of that because he's so out of touch with his reality and he's more interested in the fantasy of who he is and who he's become. But Westworld also came out, the trailer, for season 3, and I would like to hear your reaction to that now, Danielle.
Can we do the bottle challenge right now?
There were a couple of really beautiful, beautiful shots in that trailer. Particularly, I like the shot where you've got Tessa up front, and then you've got what's her name in back, and it's just like, of course you want to cuddle with yourself.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to cuddle with herself? Who else is she going to cuddle with?
You can give yourself a hug right now. Watch.
Can I just say how professional you are that you even looked at the eye line of the ball with a straight face while you were giving your commentary?
Look, I could have been in any of those Infinity War movies.
Yeah, we really don't deserve you. Yeah.
But yeah, so I did. I really liked that. I think it's a very, very pretty season. Still don't know what's going to happen. Don't know what's going on with them Nazis. A lot of them Nazis.
I like that we're getting into like newer worlds and we're seeing like different things. I feel like you can. I mean, in Westworld the movie, there was like 3 different places. I like the idea of the expansion.
Yeah, we got to see Sword World last year.
Right.
I know it's Samurai World, but it will always be Sword World to me.
I think this series, this one is one of those shows where it's like, I have to pay attention so hard, so it's like a draining. Like I get tired watching this show, but at the same time, like I'm also like incredibly satisfied when I watch this show. So I'm like really looking forward to.
Also, look at Tessa. She keep running up on them robots because they're friends.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a couple of shows going on at once. One, they're Cylons to some degree infiltrating the human world, but they're also on the run and hiding. So it's like a little bit of that type of series. But at the same time, either they are or are not. The Nazi situation, we're not sure because they said at the panel, they wouldn't confirm that was another world and intimated, which is interesting. And then they intimated at the panel that it may be some kind of futuristic version in our world.
No, thank you. I'm good.
But who would choose to go back to like Nazi Germany on their vacation?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, we're gonna. Anyone who wants to play Wolfenstein, if I want to be.
That's true. That's true. I guess if you want to.
I don't look. I want to state something for the record on JT. JT just cut to the Stay Puft when we were talking about Nazis. I want to make something very clear. The Stay Puft is a liar, but he's not a Nazi. He's a liar because he looks like a soft, fuzzy doll, but he's not. Look at him. He's hard. But he's not a Nazi, and I won't have you disparage him in this manner.
Why didn't he come up during the marshmallow?
I was literally just about to say that.
That was a fail. So my point is this, Nazis.
The only thing I want out of Westworld Season 3 is more Zahn McClarnon because his episode was hands down the solo episode where the Native American tribe sort of finds out the truth of what's going on. That's the best episode of the series. He's a fantastic actor, so I want more of him somehow. I don't care how they figure it out, but they should just, whether they have to shoehorn it in or not, I think that episode deserves a lot more love than it got, and so does he.
I agree 100%, and hopefully we will see a big return here. I just did think of a reason that they would build that world. It's sort of like an Inglourious Bastards world, where you get to go and like live out your revenge fantasy and not sort of feel anything about it because it's Nazis, and then you get to rewrite history. Maybe that's what it is.
It's so crazy too when you think like
those are definitely the ones that would want that one.
Yeah, totally booking those right now. It's so crazy when you think about like the movie Westworld. I don't know if you guys have watched it like recently.
Not recently.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's pretty cheeseball, but it's so crazy that they like took something like now when you think about it so ahead of its time in terms of concept and have been able to like redo it like in a way that's just so like it's so thought-provoking. It's almost like I wonder what other like movies that they're like we just weren't ready for it at the time that you could make a series like Westworld about. Because if you watch that movie, it's like they do the lowest common denominator version of that concept.
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta remember what it's called, but Spencer and I were pretty obsessed with an old like 1982 sci-fi trailer for this. It's kind of RoboCop and kind of rad, but it was like a robot cop that copped on a motorcycle.
I want a robot cop on a motorcycle.
It was I think maybe that movie. I'll remember the title. I'll throw it in the description. Maybe get 3 seasons and a few Emmys out of that.
There was a Dragon Slayer, but they basically then made Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Dragon Slayer's pretty sweet though.
It's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For saying that. Snowpiercer, also there was a trailer for Snowpiercer, if you guys saw. It is airing on TBS in 2020. It stars Daveed Diggs and Jennifer Connelly. I don't know if you guys saw the Chris Evans movie. I think we all saw it. It was great. I will say it looks good. Like the show looks good. It's certainly an intriguing world. My only concern is that judging just from the trailer, it's essentially an extended version of the movie. Is what it looks like to me. Like it doesn't look like
with a different cast.
With a different cast.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a weird remix.
But you know what? I always felt like Snowpiercer was something that would lend itself better to a longer series than just like a one-off movie. I feel like that's a world you can really dig in. So yeah, maybe they'll kind of remix some of the old hits at the beginning, but then you have like a situation like The Office, where then once you do that, you can just branch off and do your own
go
thing.
off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
That's true. Well,
it is beautiful, and it looks,
I caught that one. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it does, like, it looks beautiful. The detail is great. It looks like, I don't remember because I wasn't counting train cars, but it does look like they may have added or expanded a couple of things, which I'm hoping they did, because I do want to see at least a couple of things that are different than what we saw in the movie. A few surprises. Plus, I mean, it just makes sense if you add a couple more train cars, a few more locations if you're going to have, you know, a series. So it's not always, now it's the classroom, now it's this, now it's the roach food processor, now it's that. Oh, sorry, spoiler, they eat roach bars. And they like it.
You definitely do.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they add something new, because right now it is giving me a lot of, okay, but I saw this in 2 hours.
I think maybe that was the point of the trailer too, was like, you like Snowpiercer, right? Here's the stuff you like, and then I think the show will get into some more varied.
But also remember, Snowpiercer, while like we like it, it wasn't like it wasn't the Matrix where it was a cultural phenomenon. Like there'll be a lot of people that maybe see this, don't even know it was like a movie, you know?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I certainly like the cast. One thing that I did notice is there's a scene in which they're diving into some kind of water. Did you notice that? So my only question there is that happening before the train, or is it on the train? Because I don't want them to expand. Well, yeah, but here's my issue with that. There's something inherently about the claustrophobic nature of this train that's interesting. You know, that was interesting about like what that would do to human beings to be just stuck in these train cars for years and years and years. Thank you.
It's a boomerang.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. It's a watery Jennifer Connelly ring. Great. I think we nailed it. I think we've talked about Snowpiercer. I feel terrible about all of this, but I assume we're just going to like not air this.
Yeah, we'll figure out something.
We'll figure it out. So we're going to talk about Comic-Con that's outside of like Flipbook. Yeah.
We need a clip show.
We should have a clip show. We should make a clip show.
I feel like by season 3 of any great show, there's at least 1 or 2 clip episodes a season.
Did you just call what we do great?
I think it's great for what it is.
Chewy, thoughts?
It's great.
Great.
I love it.
Chewy agrees. So we want to talk a little bit. So Hall H, I'm sure.
There he is. There he is.
I love SJU.
Oh, well, when you show those things, we are great. It's not us. It's Groot that's the real hero, if we're honest. So Hall H, if you guys don't know about this, it's a nightmare. And people stand in line for days a lot of the times. I think less so this year and in the years to come. But people have camped out for 2 to 3 days for some panels over the years. And so they tried to fix that. And so they were like, instead of camping out for Hall H for Marvel today, because then people just come in for the panels that are happening before, even though they just want to go to Marvel. So they've said, oh, line up the day before and we'll give wristbands specifically for the Marvel panel. So if people want to go see Star Trek, they can do that and so on earlier in the day. It was a shit show because people were just kind of crashing the line, and they estimated, and who knows what these numbers mean, but they estimated 1,000 people crash in front of the line, which, as Danielle looked up the rules, is possible, which means if you were in the back of the line, you could have been waiting 13 hours just to have people cut in front of you.
Yeah, so the rule is, and I looked this up because I saw this on Twitter and I was like, there's no way that that's the actual rule. The rule is that every person, because they don't want you to leave your bags or your stuff to mark your place, every person there can hold 5 spaces for people. So if you look at that line, for every person that you see in that line, there could potentially be 5 more people with them, and that is allowed as part of the rules, which I don't think a lot of people recognized, or at least the people that were getting upset didn't recognize or know.
Yeah, because
which is a terrible system.
It's a terrible system.
They should have just come to our panel.
Clearly.
Yeah, what was
honestly.
I think that's the lesson.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
But just from everything that I saw, because if you look up, literally, if you just on Twitter type in like Hall H wristband, it's the first thing that comes up. It almost turned into like a free-for-all where they're like, who needs a wristband? And people were just like walking down the street and then just kind of like swooped into the line, and it just became like a nightmare.
Yeah.
People have been sleeping out there, you guys, like they've been camping out.
I think the big takeaway is that it's really cool that people who are obsessed with these superhero, heroic, good, decent people have really taken the message of these good, decent, heroic people.
They really get Captain America.
Yeah, they really understand the guy.
Yeah, I think that
it's really good.
I think that the lesson of love and giving and friendship and
sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Look, I don't want to shame anybody because
exactly though. It's the iconography. Yeah.
I don't want to shame anybody because I like a lot of things that, and I would like, I've waited in line for tickets for things, but for Hall H, you're getting like 30 seconds of something that you will see the whole movie in a year. Like, is it really worth like sleeping outside for 3 days? Like, I can't reconcile.
How much do you love Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, I don't think I love anything enough to wait like 3 days outside.
Would you wait 3 days for your wife?
What's the context?
You haven't seen her in 2 weeks. And she really wants you to, and it would mean a lot to her.
And she's going to show you the Avengers trailer.
I mean, that is a twofer. But I'm saying, like, if it's like someone is holding her hostage, sure. But if it's like...
Such a weird demand.
Right.
Wait outside in San Diego.
But if it's just like, hey, like, you're not going to see her for a year unless you, like, wait for 4 days. But like, I'll just call her, like we could text. It's fine.
Hey, Tor, how long would you wait in a line to see me?
Depends on what you're doing.
Just hanging out.
He wants to know what he's doing.
Like just generally see me.
Go home.
Tor would go home.
That's marriage. That's the difference. It's like my wife would be like, that's fine. Just don't wait overnight.
Yes.
That's dumb.
Our cameraman is very punch drunk too. I just shot of my foot.
Our cameraman is just focusing on whatever he wants.
Saucony grids.
What I like is
It's
that
like the first time we've been in focus in like 6 months, though. We have to show it off while we've got it.
I like that we're seeing where Ryan's mind is at through he's just Joe's foot.
Like, I like those kicks.
You know what? That's a fair critique, Ryan,
Honestly,
and I'll take that. I'll take that note.
We don't chill for a lot on this channel, but Saucony, if you're watching, I really like your shoes. I wear them every day, and I will tell people the comfort of wearing a pair of Saucony Jazzes every day if you'll just send me a few free pairs. Hashtag Saucony for Joe.
I just want to say that I'm looking at Twitter while you're talking about socks. And here's some breaking news. Kevin Feige says the Infinity Saga is complete. Like, is that really news? Why are we
said that last year?
That's just a
this
thing.
Comic-Con
like,
really is the we forgot to plan Comic-Con
Oh, man.
this year. Like, it's...
They just announced the Eternals.
Okay. We knew about the Eternals.
We knew about the Eternals. Impress us!
Release date.
Oh.
Is
By the time everyone's watched this video, they've already watched our other video that we haven't shot yet where we talk about all this. So
You're right, so stop.
now we're being Comic-Con to our audience where it's like you already know this.
No, they do. And you know what?
It's Watchmen. It's very meta on meta.
I don't want to end on a cynical note because the truth is we're tired, but we do care about these things and we want to be excited. And we're going to do a Marvel video later. We're going to talk about all the stuff that they revealed and it's going to be great.
I hope
you watched it yesterday, but I want to end on
I hope
wienering.
things balance out a little bit for people who got their day messed up at Hall H. I hope something karmically good happens for those folks that waited out and didn't get in, because that sucks, man.
That really sucks.
Comic-Con can bring out a nasty side of people. And
that being said, though, I also have seen, like, there was, like, this cosplayer outside, and he had, like, a really, like, legit Spider-Man costume, and he, like, look, I'm projecting, but it seemed like he really had somewhere to go. But like kids were coming up, and like little kids, and he was stopping and taking the photos. Like there are like for every terrible story, there are like a lot of people that like get good stuff out of.
yeah.
You know what? As a matter of fact, let's do what our parents always made us do on Thanksgiving. Did your parents make you do this, where you had to go around the table and say what you're thankful for?
I used to
Did
make
you have
our
this
kids do that.
tradition?
We used to have Friendsgiving, and I used to make everybody do that.
Yeah.
I'm a monster.
Yeah,
No, I'm a monster too, and that's why I'm gonna make us all say something nice about Comic-Con right now. Here's what I have to say. There's an organization called Cosplay that had a panel over the weekend. They were going to drop by and we weren't able to make the timing work. However, what they do is they go into hospitals for the elderly. No, don't laugh.
You're holding his nubs like you're holding his hand. Like
I need comfort.
He's an emotional support puffed.
He is an emotional support puffed, and I need him. So Cosplay will go in and they will do things like work with the elderly and with sick kids, and they'll dress them up to just cheer them up while they're ill, and that's a very lovely thing. And there's great aspects of Comic-Con and fandom. Now you say something nice, Danielle.
So one of the great things about Comic-Con is getting to see all of my friends that we're too busy to do stuff, and we don't get to do a lot of stuff, but when we can, it's nice. And so me and Ife Wadiwe went and did the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life yesterday. There is a place here. We went because the line was short, and it's a steak place, we thought. But what happens is you get there and you grill your own steak. Like you make it, not like Korean barbecue. Like they give you a steak and you put it on the grill, and then you can order sides and stuff. And so we went, and because it was ridiculous, like you do everything. Like they just give you a hunk of meat. And it took forever to get our meat, which makes no sense because wasn't nobody cooking it. And so then we go up and like try, there's like,
Is this turning nice?
There's garlic bread.
I don't know that you understand the exercise.
No, this is really nice because like there was like garlic bread and we had to cook it ourselves, but like it was really fun, and it was like a good time for me to spend bonding with a friend of mine that I don't get to spend enough time with while doing the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yay, that's
See,
nice.
That's nice.
Dumb things with nice people is what we do here.
Joe.
Joe went.
Oh,
Did I?
Oh,
Did
no.
you?
No, he didn't.
No.
No.
Joe's
Joe,
just so
go.
nice. He radiates nice all the time.
That's right. I'm gonna go for the Mick Foley cheap pop. Sometimes you can get really bogged down in like we get like negative comments or this or that or the and everyone. I don't know why you come see us live. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Sell it.
I don't know why you watch our stuff. Like, but thank you so much. Like, getting to walk out of our panel and like meeting everyone and talking to everyone, like I'm still not used to it. I still don't understand why it happens. I really don't. But it really like recharges me to do this, because sometimes when it's like it's just cameras and it's just us and we have to sit around and like you know, it's like, what are we doing, you know, today? It's like, here's Batman for the upteenth time, or being able to reconnect with people, and for whatever reason, like this group matters to you when it. Sorry, I'm tired and getting emotional. I apologize. It's just really great. Thank you guys so much for showing up, especially doing live stuff. That's where I came from. That's what I love to do. And so to be able to perform for you guys is really cool, and just really makes the week worth it.
Billy?
Well,
right
no,
here
I feel
in
like
Los Angeles, California.
guys, were you bummed that you didn't get into the Comic-Con thing that you wanted? Maybe you didn't get the exclusive. Maybe you didn't get into the
I'm gonna
panel.
toss to it. Hang on, because we're gonna go out on this. Like,
No, we have an interview that we're going out on. I really want to see.
We do. You want to see this interview? It's very important.
Very funny interview. But I want to bring some joy to you guys.
You do?
Yes.
You're all tired.
Thanks, business.
But I found the pinnacle, not only of Comic-Con, perhaps of the human experience.
Oh, good.
Have you ever wondered what rich people do for fun?
I do.
The Purge.
Do they do murder
You would think.
in the woods?
But they brought that experience to the common man here at Comic-Con, and I feel like a lot of people didn't get to see it. Guys, we found wienering. What is wienering, you ask? That is where people waited hours in line to get into an activation. Then once they were at the activation, they waited another couple hours to do this. You ride a wiener bronco while people throw plastic wieners at your face until you fall off the
That guy's
wiener.
dope is getting
And
robbed.
They got him.
Oh, shit.
It's literally the greatest live experience I've ever had in my life was watching people just get pelted with wieners while riding a wiener.
WrestleMania can eat it, because
Right?
I am more emotionally invested in this than I have been in a television show or movie in ages.
Wow,
Stay on, girl.
Oh, you can do it. Wait.
All right, brother, come
He's
on,
got it.
come
I
on.
believe in him.
Stay on. This is the
You
guy.
got it.
He knows how to
This is the guy,
be
'cause
got it.
he's got a good
He's got a
base.
good grip.
Okay, come on.
Hanging
Come on.
on.
No.
Oh, too bad.
That
just
was
think-
brilliant.
That's amazing.
You came to Comic-Con, you got in line at 5 a.m. to ride a wiener while people threw stuff at your face.
At whatever company
Only
this is,
Adult Swim?
Okay, this was Adult Swim. Some young lady intern entry level at Adult Swim was like, you know, making her way up in the world. She's like in the meeting room, and they're like, "What are we doing this year?" And she's like, "What if?" Someone rode a wiener while people were throwing wieners at them, and there was a pause in the room, and everybody who usually laughs at that entry-level person's like getting ready to go, oh gosh, she spoke up again. But then Mr. Executive at the Steven Adult Swim, the president of Adult Swim, was sitting at the head of the table, and he was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate you, and there it is.
She's
Props
not-
to the
she's-
two of them.
Yeah.
Kingmaker.
She's the CFO now.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
She is.
she's the CFO of Wieners. I want to just congratulate everybody who had the commitment to understand that a fight club isn't necessary when you can have people throw plastic hot dogs at your face.
I think
Like,
war
really
should be
hard,
settled that
too.
way.
Really hard.
Yeah.
Like people in the audience, it was like a
They were
Roman
getting
gladiator.
wrecked.
Yeah.
I saw a couple because there's a longer video that Billy had, and one of them, this chick, like you could like feel it like knock up against her skull.
Oh God. Well,
that's what she wanted.
congratulations to the Wiener champions of the world, and congratulations to you guys for sticking with us for this 45 minutes of brilliance that we have just prepared for you. And thank you for sticking with us in the weekend. I'm going to stop being sarcastic because I'm going to echo what Joe said. It really is amazing when we meet the people. First of all, like the live audience is so much fun. It's so much more fun to do movie fights or anything in that experience because you guys make it fun. Even when I say Golden Globe winner Kurt Russell to win a fight, he was just nominated. And you let me get away with it because we're screwing around. And then when we meet you guys afterwards, it makes all the difference in the world. So thank you for being amazing. And
Don't worry about FOMO because that's going to be our first movie fights. Our monthly movie fights will be that show.
That's going to be that show. Yeah, and I just spoiled it a little bit. That's okay. The fabulous Furry Freak brothers want to talk to you. And they are Adam Devine and Blake Anderson and our own Eric Goldman. And they are coming up right now. That was a weird segue, but I did it.
No, I liked it. It's good.
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you.
She's fantastic.
Hey guys, Eric Goldman here. We're at Comic-Con. I'm sitting here with Adam and Blake. How's it going, guys?
So good.
So good.
Now,
you look in the right camera?
they're all the right camera.
Okay.
So here's the thing about Comic-Con. In the last few years, people go, oh, does this property really belong at Comic-Con? There are certain shows and movies. You guys are here to talk about a new project that is, in fact, based on a comic.
Can you believe it? We're actually here for a legit reason for once.
Yes. So let's talk about the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, which it's a 50-year-old property. It certainly has a cult following, but there's going to be some people who don't know it. So what would you explain as the backstory?
That's what I think is so cool about it is there's going to be people that love it for what it was, and it does have this huge cult following, but then we're gonna be able to bring light to it and show people that haven't seen it and kind of bring it to a wider audience because it's so cool, it's so funny, the artwork is incredible, and what we're doing with this show is we're taking these characters, and they're three stoners from the 60s and 70s.
They might enjoy some recreational drugs.
Yeah, and we're bringing them in 2019. And so now you're able to see like the world through their lens, and everyone's like, you can't do that. You can't say that here now. That's not woke. And so we're going to be doing a lot of that.
So it's these characters, but it's firmly set in the here and now.
Yeah. It's kind of like just having these basically hippies in the juxtaposition of today's life and all this weird stuff going on.
So what is your background? Like, when did it come on your radar, the comic in general, and then how did this come together that you guys are doing this animated series?
Maybe about almost a year ago now, and Blake showed me the comics, and he had known about it, and I hadn't, and I was like, oh, this is so awesome, so cool, and at the same time, the people that own the property were looking to do something with it, and we paired together, and we're so excited to be working with them, and we've been in the writer's room and sort of cooking up ideas. And
yeah, it all happened pretty organically. It was kind of weird when like Adam was like approached me with like, yeah, maybe we should do this. I was actually reading the comic. Like I was going through the big like Bible of it, and I'm like, this is like so funny and cool. Like not only is it cool, but it looks great. Like there's just so much opportunity with the Freak Brothers. It's just so untouched. It's like I can't believe that it's just hasn't been done yet. So
yeah, and it's funny because you see like little nods to. I know like the Simpsons once did a nod to them, and it's like it's clearly been this nice little influence in the background of stuff. So, but is that exciting for you? They really get to show people, okay, this is this thing that has been around for so long.
Yeah, because it legit is so cool. It should have a spotlight like shined on it because it's super funny and like topical and all that. So.
And it's cool. You talk to people like of a certain age, and they know it.
Yeah.
And if a lot of younger people don't unless they're really really into comics, and so it's going to be cool to show the youth.
Yeah.
Show the youths.
Yeah,
Introduce it to the youth.
Yeah. Not just our weird stoner uncles. Be like, hey, I want to show you this cool cartoon.
Now your stoner brothers.
Yes. We're doing it for the Stoner Brothers this time.
So clearly there is some adult content here. Where do you think this series will fall as far as how far you're going to push it, how much you're going to go content-wise?
I would say we're going to be R-rated.
All right. Safe assumption.
Yeah.
It's going to be nasty.
Yeah, we're going to be nasty. We know no other way. We wish we could be PG-13.
You know our work. We're real
we
toilet
skew
humor.
nasty.
Sure.
No, but yeah, I also think there's like a lot to be said from like the Freak Bros. They have political perspective and all that. So we're not trying to make a really stupid show.
We like to make smart comedy through the lens of idiots.
Yeah.
So this comic really worked for us.
Yeah, it resonates.
It was like some of the storylines, I'm like, oh, this could have been a Workaholics episode.
Right.
Like that's why I was so drawn to it, because I was like, oh, I know how to write this show. Like I feel confident that we'll be able to do a good job with this.
You haven't started voice recording yet, right?
Not yet, no.
So have you thought about your stoner voices? Have you thought about how you're going to approach
We think about it all the time.
Yeah, we're constantly thinking about stoner
We
voices.
practice our stoner voices together.
Right.
We smoke weed together and just talk.
Yeah, and just chat,
try to
chat,
find
chat.
it.
We're like,
Yeah.
Right,
maybe we
right.
should smoke another joint. The pitch goes up a little.
Right, right.
Lots of practice.
Very, very classical, theatrical.
Yeah, we are method.
Lots of
We are
voice
method.
training.
Yes.
There are 3 main characters. There are 2 of you sitting here. What might you say about the third of
We are working on it. We got some big names actually kicking around.
In the hopper.
In the
as they
hopper,
say.
but none that we can say now because no deals have been closed.
Michael Keaton.
But,
Right, okay.
Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
just a
They're
few
going to
names.
alternate the role.
A few names.
yeah.
They'll say every other line.
Yeah. Or maybe
weird.
both together at the same time.
Maybe we might blend the voices.
Yeah. I don't know.
And you heard it here first. And is that real? Probably not, but we don't know. Yeah,
It's exclusive, so
But it is an exclusive.
tweet it.
It's a good approach. It's a good approach. People know you from Workaholics together, but obviously, your relationship and working together goes way back far before that. So is it cool for you? You do other projects, but that you can reunite on something like this and still continue that collaboration.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, we love working together, and thank you. And we're gonna end up working together until people are like, stop.
Yeah.
Do something else.
It's not
But
funny.
I think people like the fact that we are best friends, and and Durs as well, and Kyle. They're not on this project, but that's what's cool about us. We kind of can go off and branch off and do different things, and then end up coming back together as well. So
Yeah, and every time we go out and do stuff like apart, it just makes you realize how special, like when we come back together, it is. Like, it's just like, I just like really, really, really like him a lot.
We've had a real breakthrough here, guys.
what if we did just start crying right now?
Then
Would that be a first?
I mean, it'd be first for me, so go for it.
Well, it'd be cool if we start crying, then you start crying.
Oh, yeah.
And all.
Everyone here
Yeah,
is gonna
everyone cry.
And then the camera pans and it's just 30 people just crying.
Here sobbing,
Like,
guttural.
I've got to call my best friend.
Is it cool for you guys just to know that you're doing an animated series? It just feels like that is like a, especially this day and age where there are so many different types of animated series.
Yeah.
Are you excited by that?
Yes, I mean, so excited about it. And I'm a big fan of like a lot of the more R-rated animated shows right now. Like Big Mouth, I think is awesome. They do a great job with it, and I think we're really excited to like go down that road.
Yeah, the animation process is really fun, and like, I mean, there's not so much like design with this because the comic's already drawn and all that, but like just seeing anything from like the animatics to the final stage, it's really cool. It's really fun.
What's great is like your imagination can just go wild. With
Yeah.
Workaholics, obviously you have limitations.
Right.
Budgetarily,
Yes,
where
sure,
you're like
sure.
you can't do all these things that you want to do, but in animation you can do absolutely anything, and it's cool. It's very freeing.
It is free.
Now, we're in the early stages of this. When can people possibly look to find this show? When you're looking to aim for it to debut?
We are aiming for next year, 2020.
Okay. It will. It's coming. It's on the horizon.
It is
close.
coming. We are moving really fast.
Yeah.
And we're already churning out scripts, and so we're excited to get going.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming here. We'll be looking for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Comic-Con.
Yeah,
we
thanks.
will.
We will. Can't wait to get out there.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.